unrealistic to say that there will never be abuses of short selling.
The SEC should define and punish as fraud abusive naked short selling practices.
Legal short sellers have to borrow the shares that they sell. Illegal naked short sellers don't bother with that part. They sell shares of stock that they haven't borrowed and that they have no intention of borrowing. In some cases, they sell shares that don't even exist. Manipulating the price of a security is a serious fraud, and the SEC can investigate it and punish it.
Excessive downward price pressure on individual securities, accompanied by the fear of unconstrained short selling, can destabilize our markets and undermine investor confidence.
Howdy, I hope you had a great day. Silver Trade here again with another quick video. There's some rumors going around that GameStop is about to close half of their stores once again. We're going to talk about GameStop's true value. It looks like Trump is finally getting serious on some stimulus checks. And how has Ryan Cohen done as CEO? And AMC needs to double their shares outstanding. Otherwise, the interest rate they have on some of their debt will double. But please remember, none of this is financial advice. We are not financial advisors, and this video is made for entertainment purposes only. And just a quick reminder, Ryan Cohen's 8.5% personal buy-in is extremely rare. No other sitting CEO is known to have personally purchased that large of a stake with their own money. We ride with Cohen. And GameStop's utilization is still at 99%. And GameStop is aggressively adding trading card inventory after selling 6,600 cards in a single day on October 19th, 2025. They're now netting over 400 cards per day, or 7,600 in the last 19 days. And like I said in my last video, whenever I went to pick up my graded cards when they arrived at GameStop, the GameStop employee told me that they had to make me an offer. And it was a very tempting offer. And why GameStop is trading at a real PE of 0.44, the cheapest mega cap in history. What is PE anyways? PE stands for price to earnings ratio. PE equals stock price divided by earnings per share. Apple has a PE of 35, Nvidia has a PE of 30, and Palantir has a PE of 180. The true PE. Wall Street analysts only look at earnings divided by shares. Real value legends like Buffett, Graham, and Roaring Kitty first subtract everything the company already has in the bank. Right now, GameStop's market cap is $9.64 billion. In cash and cash equivalents, they have $8.7 billion. They have $500 million in Bitcoin. And so that leaves the value of the actual business at only $400 million. You're paying only $400 million for 1,400 stores worldwide, the GameStop brand, online platform, 15 million customers, entire workforce and logistics, and how much will that business earn next year? Along with the Ryan Cohen turnaround, interest on $8.7 billion in cash, along with the Bitcoin gains, and an over $900 million net profit in 2026. So now we can calculate the real PE. The true business value, like we talked about, is $400 million. An expected 2026 profit is $900 million. So that means forward PE is really only 0.4. A forward PE of 0.4 is some incredibly deep value. And in simple terms, GameStop is very undervalued. And don't go anywhere, we have some rumors about GameStop to talk about. Ryan Cohen posted this picture, and in it, in some language, it says, "Work sets you free." And a lot of people have posted, wait a minute, Ryan Cohen's gate photo is also the gate from the Time article. Coincidence? I guess the picture that Ryan Cohen posted was from the same article of the one that Roaring Kitty posted a while back. I'm not entirely sure. If anybody else has a good grasp on what they mean here, please let us know in the comments. GameStop's short interest is starting to work its way back up, now at 17%, but probably higher now since we've been moving down so much recently. And for the week of November 14th of 2025, Max Payne is at $20 per share. Same as January 16th of 2026. There's a real possibility that they're going to try and push GameStop below $20 per share this week. They might even keep it below $20 per share until January 16th of next year, just to make sure we're below Max Payne. For that week, we have 320,000 calls, but only 50,000 of them are in the money. And they'll definitely push it down with these rumors of GameStop closing half of their stores. You know, they own the newspapers and they own the articles, and they're going to make it seem like a very bearish thing that GameStop is closing stores. but obviously they're just trimming the fat. And stick around, because we're going to talk about how Ryan Cohen has done an amazing job as CEO here in just a minute. I'm in every single subreddit that talks about GameStop, the employees subreddit, the meltdown subreddit, and of course, Super Stonk, just so I can keep you up to date with all the new gossip. In GME_meltdowns, a couple of employees were talking about massive store closures are coming in January. Massive store closures are coming in January, roughly half of all stores from what people are hearing. Very real chance you won't be there long. Even if you want to be so, I wouldn't stop looking. Don't believe what your SL or DM say either. They will lie and say you're not closing. They don't want everyone to jump ship right before the holiday. And Funko Pop Maker admits it might not survive another year as sales plummet. A lot of people are wondering, would GameStop want to acquire Funko? I really hope not. And farewell to one of the greatest investors of all time. Nancy Pelosi plans to retire in 2027 after 39 years in Congress. With Nancy Pelosi retiring, you know what that means. The top is in, folks. And so apparently the Trump administration is working on 50-year mortgages right now, along with a $2,000 stimmy from the money that they've made off of tariffs. Most of the world agrees that tariffs have slightly added to inflation in America, by about 0.5%. And Trump is very likely to try and rush these stimulus checks along, so that way he can give out all that tariff money to the people before the Supreme Court decides that the tariffs are illegal and cuts them off. And so a lot of people are expecting these stimulus checks to come out in the first half of next year. And I'm not saying that the Supreme Court is going to get rid of Trump's tariffs, but there's a good chance they might. And let's talk about a couple of the amazing things Ryan Cohen has done since he joined GameStop's board of directors in January of 2021. Since he joined the board in 2021, we need to go 1 year ahead to where they actually reported the earnings for the previous year, or his first year working there. When Ryan Cohen first joined the board, GameStop had about 4,800 stores worldwide. Since then, he has closed more than half of them, and it looks like they're about to cut them in half once again. And that turned out to be an amazing call. In 2021, their total revenues with the 4,800 stores was $6 billion. And after they closed over half of their stores, revenue for 2025 was still $3.8 billion. So revenue only dropped by 36%. And the cost of revenues for 2021 was $4.7 billion. And then cost of revenues in 2025 was $2.7 billion. Down almost $2 billion, or 41%. And their gross profit only fell by 15%, from $1.3 billion to $1.1 billion. And their SG&A expenses went down from $1.6 billion to only $1.1 billion, or down 34%. SG&A, or selling, general, and administrative expenses, are all of the day-to-day costs of running a company that aren't directly tied to making or buying products. Stuff like employee salaries, rent, utilities, insurance, marketing, office supplies. Basically the cost to stay open and operate. And then operating income. Operating income is the sum total of a company's profit after subtracting its regular, recurring costs and expenses. In 2021, their operating income was minus $380 million. But in 2024, it was only negative $17 million, or up 95%. And then their trailing 12-month operating income is at $144 million, or up 138% from when they were losing $380 million. Ryan Cohen has done an absolutely fantastic job. And I definitely see why he has such a large position in the company, even though he wasn't awarded or given any of those shares. And if you're an AMC investor, I'm sure you've been hearing a lot about the shareholder vote on doubling the outstanding shares. But you probably haven't heard this part. So here's the deal with AMC. They tried to double their shares so they could convert some new debt, but shareholders didn't approve of it yet. And this is a big vote, because if they don't lock it in by December 10th of 2025, the interest on their loan almost doubles. Right now, AMC is paying about 6% in cash interest, plus another 2% in PIK. That means payment in kind, which means instead of paying cash, they add more debt on top, basically piling on more debt. But if the vote doesn't pass by the deadline, the interest rate jumps to about 13% in total, or about 9.5% in cash interest and 3.5% in PIK, payment in kind. And to be fair, it's only about $190 million worth of notes, but still, that's millions more in interest every year until their shareholders say yes. Long story short, AMC is on a timer. Either they double the amount of shares they have outstanding, or their interest rate doubles. Only on 200 million, but still. And the CEO of Beyond Meat bought 4 million shares of BYND before earnings next week. This is false. He did not buy those shares. He doesn't own the shares yet. They will become his legally on December 31st of 2025, assuming he's still with the company at that time. Once vested, the RSUs convert into real BYND common shares, which he can then hold or sell. But there is no cash purchase or open market buy. This is not a bullish insider buy. It's a compensation-related grant, part of his pay from Beyond Meat. Thank you so much if you've made it to this point in the video. I really appreciate it, and I hope you found value in this. If you wouldn't mind, please hit that like button and consider subscribing. But thank you again, and God bless you.